Smoking, grilling, getting hot and hotter, sous vide and chilling from fire and water.
Welcome back to the Fire and Water Cooking Podcast. I'm Darren. I'm your host, of course. And today we've got some special guests. We got John Jr. and John Sr. McLemore of Masterbuilt and Masters of Smoke.
How's it going, Darren?
Welcome, guys. Go ahead and introduce yourselves. I know John Sr. and John Jr. So introduce yourselves and just kind of like give me the rundown of who you are and what you do.
All right. Love telling this story because it's been in the McLemore family for so long. But back in 1973, my dad, Dawson McLemore, decided to tinker in his backyard with a few products and did that as a hobby for several years. And the company at that point, Darren, was M&M Welding. Years into that hobby, my dad decided products that we were selling, in the local area, around Georgia. And where the name came from was my dad said a prayer to God. He said, I'm the builder, you're the master. If you will help me run this company, be successful with this company, I'll name it after you, which is where the name Masterbuilt came from. I did that from age 8 to 18, got out of high school, and my dad semi-retired in 1984. I became an owner of the company. A couple of years later, became the president of a small family business. Did that for about 14 years with my brother Don, and actually 28 years. Time is kind of flying by. From 1984 to 2012, my brother Don decided to get out of the company, and I became sole owner for about 4 years. 2016 rolled around. We brought in a private equity company out of New York to help us grow the company. A couple of years later, we merged with a company called Kamado Joe. And today, Masterbuilt is the legacy from the McLemore with our private equity company, two very iconic brands in the industry. We now have 5 offices all over the world. And it's just been an incredible for, 12 years now. 15,
something like that.
yeah.
It's been a long time, Darren.
So,
or it feels like a long time. I mean, heck, I don't feel that old, but I feel like I've been in the business for, my entire life. So it's been a great journey.
What's been fun about the products that we've done, Darren, is over the years, most of our successful products were products that we built for ourselves. Our dad fried fish in our backyard, which is why we got in the fish cooker
He
business.
handmade those.
Those
fish fryers
in our backyard. We got into the smoker business in really the mid-90s. Our claim to fame in the smoker industry came in the mid-2000s when we developed the world's best, in our opinion, electric vertical smoker. We kind of owned that industry for a number of years. 2003, we actually came out with the world's first indoor electric turkey fryer. Today is still a product that's going to be branded Masterbuilt all-purpose fryer for this fall.
And we've sold, millions
millions
of those.
Yeah.
And now, just this past year in mid-November, we came out with the Gravity Series grill and smoker. What you see behind us is the Gravity 560. That we'll get into a little bit later and then show you a little demo on it and show you guys the grill. But
and what John and I decided to do is we developed the Masters of Smoke because that's what we love to do, is teach, eat, and repeat. We teach people how to cook amazing food. We love eating with our family and friends, and the goal is to have everybody repeat it, which is what Masters of Smoke is all about. And we cook with Masterbuilt, we cook with Kamado Joe, and really all of our friends all over the world. So
and ultimately, Masters of Smoke is just a play off of obviously Masterbuilt. We believe that God is the master. We're a Christian-based company, and live and walk that journey from a faith perspective. But mastering the art of smoking and grilling and barbecuing as a whole is something that it's a hobby for all of us. A lot of people out there would consider themselves masters on briskets, but maybe not on butts. And eating and repeating is something you do every day, right? In your
Yeah.
hobby, you do it because you love it. So it's kind of the premise on what we do. But father and son duo, just cooking.
Damn.
So let's back up a little bit. So your dad, John Sr., started with the fish fryers. How did he make the jump into electric smokers, and why did he concentrate on electric smokers instead of charcoal smokers and grills and all kinds of things like that?
That's a great question. I don't even know why did he do that.
Well, we actually got ourselves into the smoker business more than my dad did. My dad,
because that was after
right.
Pawpaw.
That's right. My dad started the company, Dawson McLemore, in 1973. And the first product that we actually came out with was a plant stand that you held your plants and your ferns. That was built for my mother. My dad built the fish cooker because we fried fish in our backyard all the time. And then later in the mid 90s, my dad was thinking about, he's actually had semi-retired in 84 and he fully retired in 98. And in the mid 90s, we developed the smokers because we had so many people that we were doing business with asked us to develop something that was innovative and allowed people to enjoy the art of smoking without all of the hassle. Which really, Darren, that's what Masterbuilt is always about. We love to innovate. We love to be different in the industry. All of our successful products have been products that we researched and developed and built ourselves. We don't really like to research and duplicate with our brand. So the electric smokers fit the need at the time. And I'll give you just a little tease. Later in the fall and for 2021, we're going to have a vertical charcoal smoker that's going to blow everybody's mind. So just a little bit of a tease on that, taking some of this amazing technology right here, and just be different in the industry. So the smokers really came from myself and my brother Don developing something that allowed us to expand outside of the Southeast United States and become more of a national company. And today, I can't even tell you how many countries we sell in, but we're doing a ton of business in Europe, Australia, obviously all of North America. It's just been a pretty amazing journey.
Well, and to me, your smokers are all made so that it's, like you said, easy. You don't have to learn how to, start a charcoal fire and it's not a offset where you got to continually babysit it. You can pretty much set it and forget it. And is that what got you into these the major big box stores? Because that's where the money is right there. If you get into Walmart, Home Depot, and all that, and you guys are in pretty much all of the big ones. So
it is, and we were selling to just about all channels throughout the United States, but we fit a price point that allowed people to smoke in their backyard for $199 to $399 with these electric vertical smokers. We've actually got a propane unit that is very innovative with patented technology. Same premise. It allows you to set it and forget it, not have to worry about it, because it automatically maintains the temperature, which is what our electric smokers did. The propane smoker does. New technology we've got coming. This baby, without the hassle of, if you love charcoal, this allows you to have the technology that we had in our electric smokers put into a charcoal grill smoker.
So the turkey fryer, it started out, you guys were co-branded with Butterball. Is that going away? You kind of said it's going to be a re-release of the turkey fryer.
Great question there. We started with that in 2003 as a Masterbuilt branded product for about 6 years. Then we developed a relationship with Butterball and had a great partnership with them for, maybe 10 years. Yep. We will still be doing some marketing and some things with Butterball because we still have a great relationship with them. They're still, in our opinion, the best turkey that you can buy. But we are going to be re-releasing that product under the Masterbuilt brand this year as an all-purpose fryer, boiler, steamer, fries up to a 20-pound turkey, does amazing low-country seafood boils, fish fries, steam. It is going to be a phenomenal new release on that product this fall.
So since you guys have been merged or bought out with the cash infusion, how has your role changed? Both of your roles changed in the organization.
I would say for the better. It's definitely different when you have been the owner of a company basically your entire life and been president and CEO of a family business for practically all of my life. It changed in a way that allowed us to bring in a great partner that I stayed on as the president and CEO in January of 2019 and then stepped down. And right now, my role is product development, working hand in hand with our engineers. And John and I both are running around the country doing a ton of marketing and promoting the products.
Well,
I still
not
have a
not running around the country at the moment.
not at the moment. I'm I'm still a very large shareholder within the global company Masterbuilt and Kamado Joe. It's different in one respect, but it's been great.
Well, and from my perspective, Darren, it's different in a good way for me because I think it's placed us in a position where we get to work a little closer together. We genuinely are best friends and we love just cooking together. But my role, for the past 12 years started, my first day at the company was sweeping the warehouse. And I've ultimately worked in some way, shape, or form every job or position in the company. And I've been very fortunate to do that. And I got my degree while doing it.
You got a degree?
I got two.
Learning here.
Yeah. So, it allowed me to, really shape and realize what I wanted to do in life. And it's put him in a position where we get to cook now. And that's our passion is we get to cook, we get to product develop, figure out good ways to do things, bad ways to do things sometimes, and work with our team and
That's right.
and help shape the product.
Well, and I'm sure a lot of the pressure is off you too, John Sr. That being a CEO, you have a lot more that we have to deal with, and than what you're doing now, of course. But this is probably your time to have, like you said, more fun with your son while developing, and being excited about this product. You have more hands-on to help develop and market and get other people excited about this product.
Yeah, that's well put. And I'll tell you, it is very different going from being a CEO to more marketing and promoting. We spent a lot of time developing products that had never been developed before. We pride ourselves on being very innovative. So for me to step out of the role as the CEO, I still wanted to be very, very involved with all aspects of the company. And this role allows me to do that. We travel overseas to Europe, when we're going to be traveling again to cook and promote our products there. We traveled to Australia promoting our products all over the North, America, doing that. So although I'm not CEO and president, still very involved, but you are absolutely right. It is a very different role. And for people that are owners of companies and CEOs and presidents of companies, especially now in the time that we are in, that's a very, very stressful job. So I'll take my hat off to our team and our current president right now because it is not an easy job.
And if I could plug him for just a second, because he's arguably the best leader that anybody could have and mentor. But even for our current president, he's still involved in a way that he allows him to do his job, but he's there to help and lead and guide and mentor, not just me, but and he's the best cook that we have, and he's the best product developer we have. So I think it's it's putting us in a position to to really be an asset to the company. So
there you go. I'll give you $5.
Well, it's great to I'm sure work with your dad, and I'm sure it's great for you, Senior, to be able to work with your son, and then have time to put your heads together instead of only spending a couple minutes a day with him. You get to spend a lot more time with him, I'm sure, and you get to bounce ideas off you guys, each other, and that's a good thing. And then I'm sure you got the president of the company now has faith in you because you've done it for so long that ideas that you bring him, he's going to listen to you.
That's right. And I'll say the same thing about John. It's been great working with my son. We work with our family. We pride ourselves on really being a close-knit family, even more so now. But it has been fun working with John. He brings a different perspective to the table than I have, being older school, technology that I did not really still don't understand today. 30 and work on products like this. Our engineering team does an amazing job, but what John and I do is work with them and work with certain people out there in our industry that love our products to make sure that this is going to be the best charcoal grill ever put on the market.
And I want to say too, just to clarify, we were not the engineering behind this product. I think we had some involvement. Dad had probably more involvement than really any of us outside of the engineering team. But take our hats off to the engineering team. They did an incredible job. And specifically one guy that I won't say his name, but shout out to who I'm talking about. But he did a great job on this product. But we get to see it from the consumer perspective, though. We're super users in that perspective, and we get to bring information to them to say, hey, here's a way that we can make it better. They're much smarter and inclined than we are to then put it in a computer system, work with the factories, and execute on that. So.
Well, we're going to take a little bit of a break here, and then when we come back, we're going to delve deep into the gravity fed, because that's what everybody's talking about. I mean, that's the thing that's exciting everybody, and I think is going to be the future of your brand for sure. So we'll be right back with John and John from Masterbuilt. All right, so let's get into this G560 gravity fed. Where did the idea of this come from? Because there's nothing else out there like it. There's gravity fed smokers out there, but they're usually something the competition guys have, and they're usually $7,000, $8,000, $10,000, $20,000 machines that are custom made. So where did the idea for this come from?
So
I'll let you take that one because you were more involved on that.
So I'll tell you, we have an engineer in our office, and I'll just call his name out. It's Olin Powell, that loved the idea of a gravity steel. Worked together with another engineer of ours who likes to keep his name silent. Our design engineers, we had the idea of what competition cook-offs were using. And when we started the project, I said, guys, we're not in the competition trailer grill business, smoker business. I said, but if you will commit to taking the technology of the very first one that we built, that was a $10,000 unit, and take that technology and allow people to put it in their backyard for $4.99 to $9.99 in that price range, I'll give you the resources and the time and the money to put behind the product. So they agreed. Project got started. They went to some cook-offs, built this big unit that allowed us to get the very first price point at $4.99, and the next one that we've got coming out will be under $1,000, and try to have it go to the masses.
So you had the idea from the competition guys, and now you had to shrink it down to fit a price point and something that people are going to be able to put on their backyard. Yeah. And how did the Wi-Fi come into that?
Well, so technically, the first unit at $500 didn't have a digital interface and Wi-Fi and Bluetooth on it. And, working with great partners like Walmart and Home Depot, that was one of the asks. It was an ask kind of, hey, it needs to have Wi-Fi. And that kind of kicked it in gear that, hey, this thing really needs some technology on it that you don't see at that $500 price point. You see Wi-Fi and digital interfaces in products that are probably $800 and up, but nothing at that $500 price point. So that's kind of unique. But it came into, there's two ways to use this grill. One is control and one is monitor. And we tried to build the Wi-Fi interface in a way that keeps it simple, because that's the whole premise of our mastering the smoke and making things as easy as possible and bringing competition level cooking to the backyard. Right. But we tried to make it as easy as possible, because we all know Wi-Fi can be a little complex, especially for the older generation.
Well, for me, I'm happy right there, but I will admit there have been times that I love being able to monitor what I put on. We've got the technology behind this product with the Wi-Fi that allows you to get updates I've learned something over the air that allows you to, while we make changes with the product, because it is Wi-Fi capable and enabled, it allows you to get the current updates as our engineering team does that.
And that's helped us tremendously on the customer service side, and being able to service the customer, at the unit. So there's a lot of things that Wi-Fi brings, not just the ability to change the temperature from your neighbor's house.
Yeah, and the one thing that Masterbuilt's always done is we think about safety first in every aspect of our product. So with this product, we have it set up to where you do have to press the connection button there when you are going to hook up to Wi-Fi. That is something that we're doing to abide by particular standards to make this product safer. Although some products like this are not mandated to do that, we took the route of making sure that we did.
The safe thing, sure.
So you want to see some wings?
Yeah, definitely. Let's see what this thing can cook.
So this is actually some chicken wings that we put on, and there's two ways that I cook wings on this product. One, I will smoke them at a low temperature at up from any temperature that you want, from as low as 150 all the way to 700 degrees. So as you can see right there, that allows you to get that grill up high enough to sear or low enough to smoke your chicken wings, to smoke your ribs, basically anything that you want from one temperature to the next.
And you'll see we're at 220 degrees right now, Darren. So just to kind of keep a timestamp on, you're not going to 700?
I will as soon as I take those wings off.
Okay. So when we go from 225 to 700 in a second, we'll show you how quickly the unit goes from 225 to 700. It only takes a couple minutes, but.
So we've got this one that we're doing just a little bit of cooking on.
You need to do a quick breakdown?
Do a run through on this product right here. But while he's doing that, to your point there, John, hold this. So Darren, we're going to take these wings off because they're actually done.
And that's your lunch.
The two recipes that I recommend on these wings is if you want to grill them, set the grill at 350 and grill the wings in about a half an hour, or set it at 225 and slow smoke them for, between an hour and a half, depending on how big your wings are. But I'm going to quickly remove these. And again, we had this one set at 225 and
almost lost one.
I'm going to take this grill right now, close the lid. I'm going to set the temperature from 225 degrees. I'm going to take it up to 700 degrees, okay? Then I'm going to come right here. That locks in that temperature at 700. I'm going to come here on our timer, and I'm going to start the timer over from 0 to let this count up. So from 225, we're going to monitor how long.
Yeah, so ultimately this is our Gravity Series grill and smoker. And the reason we call it a grill and smoker is because it does both and everything in between really, really well. So it's 150 degrees all the way to 700 degrees within your cooking chamber. You've got 3 racks or 3 levels of cooking. It comes standard with 2 warming racks. You can add up to 2 additional. Standard is 560 square cooking inches. The premise of this style of cooking is it's a charcoal based unit. So we're cooking, our fuel source is charcoal. It's not electric, it's technically a wood. But we're cooking with charcoal. You take a bag of charcoal, any briquette or lump or any style in between of charcoal, we pour that into our hopper. Chris, can you give a quick view down? I don't know if you can see, but you've got some lump in there right now. We're going to close that up. It latches, and then we light down here on the side of this unit, on the side of the hopper. You put a little fire starter in here. This is your ash bin. After 60 seconds of lighting, putting a little fire starter in there, we're going to close this up, and this hopper is now a self-contained unit. So it's forcing the heat into the chamber now. And then from 0 to 225, it's 7 minutes from a fresh start, or 0 to 700 from a fresh start in 13 minutes using charcoal. A quick note also, if you're cooking with, if you're smoking, I would say, we do a technique called double stacking, which allows you to take large wood chunks and you can actually throw those in the hopper with it. And that will smoke those wood chunks along with the charcoal. You can, if I'm doing a brisket, we did a 8-pound brisket the other day, and we double stacked wood and charcoal and did a 12-hour cook overnight. And that just allows you to have a consistent long burn and add a specific flavor of wood that you might want. And ultimately, you got a fan underneath that is forcing air in to your firebox. And then you've got your firebox, which is where your charcoal is lit, forcing air back into your chamber. And you've got a manifold inside the bottom of the grill chamber here that is evenly distributed fan, or it's controlled by a fan. You are getting a very even convection style of charcoal cooking. And the last thing that I wanted to mention was it's the only charcoal grill on the market that allows you to cook with charcoal. And there's nothing under that $1,500 price point, $1,200 ceramic price point that you're going to get in terms of digitally controlled charcoal holding 16 pounds. You can set a temperature 0 to 713 minutes and then have the ability to shut the grill down. So you put those slides in and it snuffs the charcoal out. So it's perfect for a family of 4 on a weekday, and it's going to take charcoal in terms of being predominantly a weekend fuel source, and it's going to turn it into a weekday fuel source. Because I can come home, I can have my steaks, which we're about to show you, and throw on. I can have my steaks, throw them on, have my grill up to, 500, 600 degrees, whatever I'm going to sear those steaks at, in a matter of 10 to 12 minutes. I can cook. I'm only going to use 2 to 3 pounds of charcoal, and then I can shut that unit down, and I've got, 13, 14 pounds of charcoal for the next time I cook. It holds 16 pounds of briquettes and roughly 10 to 12 of lump. And then obviously Dad just showed you of setting your temperature, Wi-Fi Bluetooth controller here.
So basically this kind of combines the charcoal grill and the pellet grill, because pellet grills since the beginning have used a convection fan to control the heat and the smoke and all that. So this uses that same concept, but it's kind of like almost a reverse flow as well, because you got the air coming in one way and going out into the cooking chamber another way. Correct. And going underneath.
That's
right.
So
this is the way I
got to interrupt. We're 5 minutes and 15 seconds.
And you're at 700?
We just passed 700, so it'll stabilize.
Yep.
So this grill that I smoked the chicken wings on, we started it from 225 degrees and basically ramped it up to 700 degrees, and it took 5 minutes to get there. Yep. So while you and John keep talking, John's talking about a family of 4. Well, now I'm an empty nester. My wife and I are, kids are gone. So for us, there's times that I want to come home and just take a couple of steaks and throw on. Get your grill going, and literally 15 minutes time, put 2 steaks on. I realize those are small steaks, but we're just cooking for 2 to prove a point here. I'm going to set this timer. I'm going to reverse count this again to start that. And as thin as those steaks are, they'll be ready in no time, less than 5 or 6 minutes.
So what I was going to make, my point that I was going to make earlier is it's the convenience of pellet or electric. It's the power of a traditional gas unit, but the flavor of charcoal. That's ultimately what you get in this unit. So, and the other thing too about a pellet, because we sell pellet products, we love pellet products, but you don't have all those moving components. It is just a basic fan and gravity fed charcoal. So it's a very simple design in terms of the grill itself. So.
We probably love pellets a little less than we do charcoal.
Well, and a lot of the issues that most people that are coming from a traditional, Kamado grill or a offset or any other kind of Weber kettle even will complain that pellets don't produce the same smoke profile as a charcoal and wood-based system. So, I mean, that kind of fixes that problem right there.
Yes, and I've experienced that firsthand. And to be just brutally honest, the products that we've been known for. It's what I've kind of centered around. I loved our electric smokers. I still have them here today, still cook on them, still love that product. The fryers, just used it this weekend on a trip with our family doing low country seafood boil. This product right here, I love, that put me into loving charcoal. Always loved the flavor, but I didn't like it as much as I did my electric smokers because of what you just said, Darren. This product solves both. Yes, it's better flavor than pellets. A lot of people are saying that. You get the real flavor of wood. If you want more smoke flavor, just add the wood chips to the bottom or double stack it like John said. Smoke at 150 to 225, 275.
Barbecue
Grill at 350 to 400. Reverse sear or sear at 700. These steaks have been on for 2 minutes. 2.
Look at that. Look at the M.
Nice.
Nice. So
Yeah, and
I'm not gonna cook those. I'm gonna cook those for 1 more minute.
and
3-minute steak. Now it's a quarter of a minute steak.
but I will say this too. These are steaks that we had frozen, correct? That we had just in the pantry.
Yeah.
Everybody's kind of pulling out, everything out of their cupboard. So this is something we pulled out for a quick dinner tonight.
Yeah.
But
We actually the last steak before this one I cooked. This is probably I don't know, an 8-ounce steak. The last one we cooked was 3 pounds.
we had
It
this
was
big
a
tomahawk.
bone-in tomahawk, 3-pound steak. We cooked 2 of them and fed the whole family.
I know.
So
Well, and one of the things I can tell with this, since it does heat up so fast from the lower temperatures to the hotter, you don't need to worry about having a indirect and direct side. You don't need to, if you want to reverse sear, you pretty much take it off after you do your low and slow part, and then within a couple minutes it's already hot enough to sear, so you don't have to worry about it sitting too long outside, which normally it takes a longer time for your fire to get heated up. So you really don't need the 2 zones
That's right.
that you would normally have on a Kamado or something else.
Yep, that's right.
I'm gonna let those rest for 5 minutes while we talk. I'll cut into them.
One of the things too I like about this unit is it's compact. It doesn't take up a lot of room on somebody's patio if they have limited space. It's easy to operate. I mean, it does have a lot of the things that are attractive from both your electric smokers and the pellet grills, where it's not a huge, big offset type smoker. It gives you, plenty of things you can do with it, that it's not a one-hit wonder, which some of the smokers are, because they only reach a certain temperature. You really can't grill on them. You're just smoking on them. But this, you can do just about anything you want.
That's right.
And it holds a true 700. It's not going to struggle. I think a lot of pellet grills get to 475, 525 or so. So you're not lacking flavor or power in terms of.
Yeah, this grill gets to 700 so fast, it'll actually start recognizing it early, because it will get to 700 and then go just slightly above 700. So it doesn't have a problem getting there at all. I've since turned this grill down to like 175 degrees, letting it cool off. Here's something that's pretty cool. As John said earlier, these 2 slides, you can take your slide and actually clean off your grill if you want to. And then you take that slide and put into the area here. So this grill, we just cooked at 700 degrees. Turn this grill off, close it up. We are now snuffing the charcoal out. I think John just said that. So that it does several things. One, you don't have to guess at how much charcoal ever again. Load it completely full with 16 pounds of charcoal briquettes. We recommend Kingsford. We love Kingsford. Put in your lump charcoal. Obviously, we have Kamado Joe lump charcoal, 10 pounds of lump. And when you get through cooking for 15 minutes or for 4 hours, shut it down. Whatever charcoal is left will snuff out, and you can reuse that charcoal the next time you cook. It's awesome.
Yeah, and then the ash looks like it's easy to get out with that ash bucket, so it's not.
Absolutely. You show him the ash bucket?
I did. That ash bucket simply just pulls out of the bottom door of the hopper. And the other thing too, you mentioned was it's a small footprint,
Yep.
which I personally love. My back porch is not this. This is my dad's back porch. My back porch is a small little covered area, so it's a small footprint, but you can see I've cooked a 20 or 22 pound brisket. We've done 6 or 7 butts. We've done 6 or 7 slabs of ribs. If you were to buy the 2 additional woman racks, so you don't lack or lose any capacity when you are using. If you were to use it in terms of a smoker, versus just searing some steaks.
That's right. So
Excuse me.
You
Bless you.
have the convenience.
Uh-oh.
I know.
Oh, Lord.
Spray him
I
down.
knew that was coming.
So you got the convenience of load light set. You don't have to worry about it. But here's something else that's super cool about this grill. Slide over, John.
Mhm.
Leave that right there for me. John showed you the ash pan that you can take out to dump your ash. Super, super easy ash removal. I'm going to disconnect this. Right in front, you have your grease tray. Now, this is where all your grease drippings go to when you're cooking. Like the other day, I cooked bacon. So it actually filled this up pretty good.
It did it.
So hold that. I'm going to spin this grill around and take a look on the back. You take the entire bottom of the grill out and take your slides and scrape that into a garbage can, okay? And always remember to clean this. Don't you put that on my deck. Clean that into a garbage can. Always do this while it's cool. Put that back into the grill. So instead of having to go down through your manifold and make it harder to clean, the front grease tray comes out, the back comes out, super easy to clean, which is very important that we make this point. If you allow grease to build up in any kind of a grill, you're gonna have a flare up. The guy holding the camera here is smiling because he experienced the same thing.
So quick shout out, Smoking Goatee.
Yeah. Oh, you called him out.
I did. I'm calling him out. Smoking Goatee.
So he did not clean the bottom of his grill. So he had a little bit of a grease fire down there. If you will, when you get through and your unit is cool, scrape the top of your manifold off. Always wash your warming rack with warm soapy water and just scrape off your cast iron grates.
Yeah.
I'll show you those. Obviously, these are porcelain cast iron. Okay, you can see we've been cooking well used on this baby. You've got the ability to sear on one side, flip it over, and smoke on the other side. But notice this is a prime example. We're going to just go ahead and do it right now. Take your slide and look down inside this grill. Save this for y'all. Scrape off the top of that manifold. Down into your bottom tray.
Yep.
Put these grill racks back in.
Got it.
And you are ready.
Because ultimately, you got to think the manifold, if the grill grate surface, so the body probe sits right above that grill grate. So the grill grates are a true 700, which means the manifold below it's going to run about 100 to 125 degrees hotter. And that manifold is sitting right above that clean out drawer. Well, that clean out drawer, if it's got a bunch of gunk, if the manifold has got a bunch of gunk on it, it's going to be hitting the flash point of grease, fat, drippings, etc. So whatever hits that manifold, if it's not cleaned and it sits, and then you go to 700 your next cook, that's when you get what's called a sustained flare up. That's what you don't want.
Right.
You want flare up and some flare up.
Chefs want a really good flare up.
Correct. You want
recipes.
that. You don't want it to sustain, which obviously
You don't want 3 inches of grease in that grease pan because it'll catch fire. I mean, and people have that issue with pellet grills as well. If they don't clean the ash out of the ash cup, it's going to shut the fire down. They'll have the thing will snuff itself out. So there's all sorts of every grill needs to be cleaned. Even the gas grills. Even a gas grill has to be cleaned, or it's going to catch fire. So.
And the warming racks. I clean my warming racks after every use. I just throw them in my outdoor sink and give them a quick clean.
I never clean them.
And the reason you do, if you're going to cook the next
Just
day or two, not a problem. If you don't cook for a month, I can promise you, whatever was left on those warming racks is going to be living and breathing.
Yeah, you see that occasionally with people, even on the Kamados, if they leave it, for a week or so and they open it up, there's mold in there.
Oh yeah.
And I know you got a Kamado, don't you?
Yeah, I've got a classic 2 Kamado Joe. I love Kamado Joe. That's kind of how I really started falling in love with barbecue again, was a Kamado Joe product.
Awesome.
So
Speaking of that, you asked earlier about the relationship and us merging with that brand. We did that because Kamado Joe is, in our opinion, one of the best, if not the best, ceramic grills out there. It has, unique technology and innovation in it with the lift hinge system, with the divide and conquer system inside.
The clean
the
out,
look.
the cart, the look, the quality, the
We-
5-piece center bowl.
We wanted to partner
Yeah.
with a company that complemented Masterbuilt. They were in the ceramic grill business. We were in the vertical. We were right in the beginnings of our relationship. And it's really been great because it gives us kind of a little bit broader scope of products. They were really good at the independent channel. We were really good at the mass. And the marriage for us has been really good.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Pulling 2 companies together, the cultures have had its challenges, but it has been a really, really good thing for our company.
yeah, what really attracted me to Kamado Joe, as far as the ceramic grills, was their innovation and their ability to look at something and redesign it if it didn't work, or to see a need for something to be changed and go ahead and release another level. Like with the Classic 2 is a great grill, but they've now, with the Classic 3, they've incorporated some other things that make the grill even better. But you don't need to get that one if you don't want to. You don't have to buy the super upgraded one. You can buy just a regular Classic, or you can get the Classic 2, or you can get the Classic 3. But they're continually to change things and innovate and fix things. So that's what I love. I mean, I had the original Big Joe Classic with the old firebox, the single piece.
Oh, you did?
And they kept cracking, of course, and they kept having to replace them. So what they do, they redesigned it. Big Green Egg has never done anything like that.
Correct.
Big Green Egg is always, they have even the accessories are third-party stuff most of the time. They don't innovate. They made it 40 years ago, and that's it. It hasn't changed. But Kamado Joe, with the hinge, even, I had a hinge problem with my original Big Joe. Now with the Classic, that hinge is just phenomenal. I mean, and if you look at a Big Green Egg compared to a Kamado Joe Classic 2, it just blows you away, the difference in the innovation. So
that's right, and that's really what Bobby Brennan and Kerry Coker did. They were the founders of Kamado Joe. They wanted to build the world's best ceramic grill, and they didn't want to just innovate or research and duplicate. They wanted to research and develop something that never been done before.
Correct.
So I think they did a great job with that product.
Yeah, and you guys have, like I said, with this product, I think you guys are along the same lines. You're innovating. You're doing something that nobody's done, especially at that price point.
Yes.
It's just that price point puts it in everybody's backyard, not just a select few. So
this steak, if we want to cut into this,
look at that.
So now my wife's in the background. It says right here, teach, eat, and repeat. So I'm going to take a small part of that steak right there.
Cut it for her. Go ahead, Mom.
Babe. That's what you think? Yeah. I could. Is that good? So, 700 degrees. How thick is that steak? 3/4?
Well,
I cooked that steak in 3 minutes. That is probably a good little medium rare right there. So all you had to do was leave that on for maybe another 30 seconds. But
put that one up.
Nope, just take the whole thing. Chris?
That's not bad, Darren.
Well, I want to bite. Come on now. We don't have taste-o-vision.
That's pretty good.
Did we answer all of your questions, Darren?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, it's Masterbuilt's been around a while. They've innovated, they've grown. I think with this grill and what you got coming out soon is really causing a lot of excitement out there, and I'm really excited to try out that 560 myself, because I've seen it. I've talked to people who have it. I've seen, just to give you an example, not to bash any other company, but the Weber's smoke fire that just came out, their new pellet grill that they put a lot of time and money and effort and engineering into. When that hit the streets, they had a big backlash, because to me and to some of the people that got it, it seemed like they rushed it to market. They didn't have their app wasn't 100% built. They had some other issues that they're trying to come back and fix. And a lot of people had, big, they expected a lot more from it. And
expectations.
yeah, and it kind of, they've really taken a big black eye on that product. And it doesn't seem like you've had any kind of, you're always going to have something with a new product, especially when you have it out there. Things are going to come up, even on a ceramic grill, they come up, but not as bad as I think these guys had. But I mean, this,
Well, and I can speak personally to, I'm thinking back since November 15th when we launched this product, and we've had our fair share of, little glitches here and there. But one of the things that Masterbuilt and, Dad and I pride ourselves on is we personally are very invested and very involved with the Facebook groups, the community out there. I personally, and obviously through our Masters of Smoke Facebook and Instagram pages, we're personally involved with a lot of cases, whether they're good feedback or bad feedback. We probably talk to a couple of customers every week that have had a bad experience, and we personally talk to them and try to turn them into a good customer, because we care. And we know that we've been manufacturing products for a long time. No product is perfect. No manufacturing process is perfect. Not every single product that you make arrives at the door perfect. But we care and want the customer to have a good experience. And we know that we have a brilliant product when it's in the right environment, and when it's obviously set up right, no dings, no bruises or nothing. And we're fortunate to have great customers and a great product, and that makes our life a little bit easier. But
we did take this is now 4 years since we even started thinking about this product, and it took us 3 years to really come out with the first prototype, to be able to start showing it. And then we did work with our top customers as to what they wanted with the product, which is, as John says, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth was added to the product. But we tried to go in a direction. Instead of following everybody in pellets, we followed something that was not being done. Which is really what Masterbuilt is all about.
And I tell you real quick, Darren, the challenge there for us has been, if you think about it, we've developed a new technology at a lower price point that's never been done before. We've put a new manufacturing process in the hands of new factories, and put a new product in the backyards with consumers who have never used that product. You've got a lot of new in a technology like this at that price point at a retailer that has never sold it before. So that consumer base is not used to that style of cooking.
Right.
So we're trying to be as hands-on as possible, because there's a lot of things that you're having to learn. A lot of people forget to remove their slides before they start the grill, because
I've seen that in the Facebook groups. Yeah,
name a grill that has slides that you have to remove, right? Well, that's a key part to the grill, and a key part to why this grill is different and better. But it's just a new routine that you have to get in. It's a new routine. To be honest, a lot of the people that we see cooking on this are previous gas grill users who are used to cooking from a high, medium, and low temperature on their knob. They're not used to cooking on a, do I set it at 450 or 425 when I'm grilling?
Right.
So that's just a new element of cooking that we're having to help teach, which is the whole premise of our, Master of Smoke, is to help teach, eat and repeat with that, with the customers.
Well, that's a big important thing to me too, is customer service. Not just, it's just, especially, and I think that's kind of what bit Weber on the butt, is they weren't acknowledging they had problems.
Right.
They were just kind of trying to, brush it under the rug and poo-poo it, saying, oh, it's just the people. But,
Well,
and you guys, I know I've seen you guys interact with people on the Facebook group as well. When the issue pops up, you guys are right there going, hey, well, we can fix it right away. Don't have an issue. And Kamado Joe's always been like that as well. So
that's right. I think what's been fun too is cooking different foods and really understanding how the product cooks. Have a little fun here. Let's name a recipe. Any type of food or recipe, Darren.
any type of food or recipe?
Any.
Fish. Let's just do salmon.
Great. If you
I got a perfect recipe for you.
Okay, so take it away.
So and it can either be cold or hot. I prefer to do cold, and I smoke that for 20 minutes at 225. The recipe we did the other day is I smoked the salmon fillet, small 6-ounce salmon fillet, for 20 minutes, 225, and I took the grill all the way to 450. Actually, no, I take that back. I took it to 650, didn't I? I took it to 650 degrees, which got there in no time. And it began to sear that salmon fillet. And I put small mini bay scallops in the outside of the pan surrounding the fillets. Bro,
It was good.
delicious.
So that's his salmon recipe, which is great in a cast iron skillet. I will take my grill and take these two. That's still a little hot. I'll take these two.
And I meant to say, I did that on the grill.
Oh yeah, he did that on
Yeah,
the
because
grill.
I smoked those to begin with.
So I'll put 2 racks in the middle. Lay a bed of aluminum foil, double, 2 layers, and then roll up the edges of that and take my salmon, a big salmon fillet, and put right in the middle of that, and put some butter and Cajun and garlic powder.
That sounds
Let
good.
all of that melt together, 225, and smoke it for 45 minutes to an hour. Bam.
Now that's a question I want to ask you guys, because you guys have an app, of course, that helps control the grill, because it's Wi-Fi. Now, do you have recipes built into the app, or do you see you doing that to some extent?
Yeah, so I got 2 answers. One, we tested with the whole principle of guided cooking, where you go to the recipe card on the app and you press a button and it shoots it to the grill. And we found the short time that we released that, we found that that's not really what customers want in terms of being able to, the grill and the app doing it for them. So we got away from the guided portion. But to answer your question about the recipes in the app, we do have those, and we have recipe cards and help you explain how to do the recipe. But we still want to give the user, the customer, and so we do have recipes in the app.
Yeah. I mean, I've with sous vide devices that have Wi-Fi, they have, a lot of that where the recipe is built in, but I never use them. I use some of their guidelines and stuff with times and temps, but I don't, me personally, I have my own recipes ready to go, but I'm sure there's some people out there that want those.
Yeah. And we found the same thing is they want a guideline. Do I do salmon at 225 or 250, and kind of how long, and what is the right application for this type of product, albeit a gravity series, an electric vertical, a turkey fryer, etc. So we give them the guidelines, but we still give them the ability to kind of critique and manipulate the specific, things that they want to do with their recipes. But
Let me talk about this for a second.
okay, go ahead.
So if we're doing salmon, obviously it's just a matter of getting that salmon to the perfect temperature to be how thick it is, will be in the time. But this meat probe right here is super important. The grill comes with 1 meat probe, and it has the ability to add 3 additional meat probes. This goes through the side of the grill. So when you want to do your Boston butt, you want to do that 3-pound prime rib, bone-in prime rib, the meat probe is controlled right here on the controller, You go from the temp, your meat probe is up top,
Yep.
your timer, and your Wi-Fi
And
enabler.
And let me plug that real quick, Darren. So the neat thing about the app, where I think the app is an absolute applicable environment, is you have control and you have monitor. And there are times where I'm away from my grill and I might want to go from 250 and go down to 200 because I don't want to overcook something. And where that's applicable is I relate that back to Thanksgiving Day of this past year, where we had 2 grills going. We had 2 turkeys on one and ribs and a whole bunch of other stuff on the other. So we go to my uncle's house, which is about 10 minutes from here, for lunch. And we were doing dinner here at Mom and Dad's house. So we get to uncle's, we're hanging out, we're having a good time. And we're like, oh gosh, the 2 turkeys were on the gravity fed. What's the temp? So Dad opens up his phone, checks that it has 2 meat probes in both turkeys, get back to the house, and was able to turn the grill temperature down because it notified him that his internal meat probe was approaching a certain temperature. To me, that's where a Wi-Fi environment is helpful. It's applicable, to the cooking experience. So that's kind of a neat story that to me applies to what we use it for.
Yeah, and all I did prior to leaving the house was I pressed that one button that allowed me to be connected so that I could monitor it and adjust the temperature up and down away from the grill. But I do want to call out a safety thing for everybody. When you're cooking with a charcoal grill, a charcoal smoker, any outdoor product like this, we always recommend follow the guidelines in the instruction manual. Don't cook in your carport. Don't cook, too close to your home. Don't cook, right up under a shed, because if you do have anything go wrong with the grill, you didn't clean it and you have a little grease fire in there, you always want to err on the side of caution with any grill that you're going, and just go by whatever the manufacturer's owner's manual states.
Yep.
Exactly. Well, thanks, guys. Is there anything else you want to talk about? I know that we kind of touched on it before. There's something else coming out soon, and you can't really talk too much about it, but there's exciting things happening.
Yeah, so there's a lot of exciting things happen. Obviously, this is the Gravity series, and I'll kind of leave a dot there, which means there's going to be multiple versions of this grill coming out. We do, so tune in over the next 60 to 90 days for more information on that. But the last thing I wanted to plug is, Masterbuilt is a great company. Want to thank the team that has worked on all of our products. We appreciate you guys. I know the coronavirus is affecting obviously the whole country and the whole world, and everybody's kind of shut down right now. But cooking from home, tune in to Masters of Smoke because we're trying to show people how to pull things out of your pantry during this time, and learning from you guys, but learning while we cook. And the whole important thing here is eating, which, I don't know if you could tell, I love. But
and we're not just going to be cooking steaks and wings and ribs and briskets. We are going to show you ways to get creative, not just because we are all kind of stuck at home during this time, but it's a fun way to take stuff out of your refrigerator and smoke it, grill it, and just get creative with your family.
And I wanted to thank you, Darren, for having us on.
Absolutely.
It's been a lot of
I really
fun.
thank you guys for being on, because I've talked about this with several of my other guests, is that the way technology has affected outdoor cooking, and this is a good example of it, it's bringing a lot more people outside and cooking. I mean, and I remember back when I, date myself, really the only thing people cooked on outdoors were, kettle grills or, offset smokers. But now there's so many different options. And this one here, it's just another thing to get people more comfortable out on their patio cooking, and bringing a lot more different types of food out here too. And it's not just burgers and dogs and, chicken and briskets and pork butts. I mean, there's so much more that these things can do now.
Yeah. And thanks, Chris. Smoking Goatee.
Yeah, everybody check out Smoking Goatee.
Oh, let's touch on this too. You guys, that grill didn't it win an award at the the
Yeah,
Hearth Patio and Backyard Expo just a couple weeks ago.
It did in New Orleans. It won the
Vista.
2020 Vista Award.
Yep.
Just being an innovative charcoal wood-fired product. So we're super excited about that. It just, again, shows the innovation behind this product. So we're very, very proud to get that award. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you guys again for being on. I really appreciate it. And everybody, make sure you follow Masters of Smoke on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, anywhere you can find Masters of Smoke. Follow Masterbuilt. Check out the Masterbuilt Gravity Series. 560 is the one that's out now, and there's some others coming out down the road here. But I can't wait to start playing with mine. But thanks again, guys, for being on. I really appreciate it. Sorry, you guys locked up for a second.
Oh, no worries. Hey, I appreciate you having us on.
All right, I'll let you go eat your wings and steak now. Well, thanks again, guys. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Have a good afternoon.